Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to my show. I'm Sean David. Let's talk some old school NBA. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at NBA legends giving their honest opinion on how they feel about Larry Bird. And I try to mix it up a little bit so we will have former teammates and of course, former opponents. But before we get to that, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot you guys for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And I would say enough of that. Let's dive right into today's episode. So the first player that I want to start with is actually not only an opponent, but also a guy that played for Larry Bird. Of course, I'm talking about Reggie Miller, Killer Miller, who had some incredible battles with Larry Bird. Now let's have a listen what Reggie Miller thinks about Larry Bird.
By the way, Bird turned 60. Isn't that amazing?
That's great.
Bird's gotten old.
Well, Father Time will eventually catch all of us, but it's hard to think. I remember sitting in my dorm at UCLA and watching those great series between Boston and Magic and Bird. And Magic is my mentor. I've said this on this show before, but I patterned my game, who I wanted to be like, who I wanted to play like, after Larry Bird. So I was torn. So I love them both, and to have a chance to play against Larry early on in my career, and then kind of be under his leadership when he took over as head coach, it was a thrill for me because that was, one of the players that, I really idolized and patterned my game after.
Larry Bird at his best, LeBron James at his best.
Oh my God. And do we have to put the teams too, or just individual players?
If there's a draft,
oh my God,
you can take Bird or LeBron. So let's say I take Larry at this age when I think he averaged 30, 10, and 7, something like that, and LeBron right now. So you got Larry Legend or
now
LeBron.
What rules are we playing to?
We're playing today's rules.
I gotta go with Larry Joe.
And the following clip is actually of one of my favorite players of all time, Sir Charles Barkley. And it's kind of funny to see how he responds to the question if he's better than Larry Bird.
But he said that same thing to Bird, too, after practice.
No. no, Dan.
Are you better than Bird?
Am I better than Bird? Oh, man, that's a great question. I'm a better rebounder. I'm probably a better defender. He's a better shooter, obviously. A lot of people talk about who's better.
But you have to have that mentality.
No, you know. I think, it's a team game.
And the next player on the list is going to be Bill Walton, so former teammate of Larry Bird, a player that was voted into the top 50 players of all time back in, I think it was 1995 or 1996, or so long ago. Anyway, he has a very specific opinion on Larry Bird. Let's have a listen.
What Larry was able to do on and off the court, it defied description, and it was very much like being on tour with the Grateful Dead, in that you never knew what was going to happen. You knew it was going to be fun. You knew it was going to be great. You knew it was going to be dynamic. You knew it was going to be explosive. But you could never say, that's what's going to happen.
Well, we came to play. We came to win. It was a really good passing team, a very unselfish team. There just wasn't any doubt in my mind that we were going to win.
Well, Steve, what about your thoughts on tonight's matchup? Another lineup change by the coach. He's installed Jerome Kersey in the starting lineup.
Well, he's put a tiger in the tank. He feels that Jerome Kersey is going to give him some aggressiveness, particularly against Larry Bird.
Jerome Kersey's guarding Larry. And I think his first 8 or 10 points were left-handed. And at that point, McHale was still coming off the bench. And so Larry scores his 6th point on some kind of left-handed shot.
Bird against Kersey. Oh,
And McHale goes, hey, Jerome, wait till he starts shooting right-handed.
Change for Bird, another three-point try.
Well, left-handed is one thing, but when the game got close, I had to go back to the right one. I think it went right down the wire, and we might have won by 1 point.
Beat you right there. You got to keep them under control. They don't.
Now, the following clips are actually from my own show. I had Dennis Rodman, Sean Kemp, Michael Cooper, and Dominique Wilkins on the show. And of course, I'll ask them all about Larry Bird and their opinion. So let's have a quick listen to those NBA legends.
87, and I tried to do my best to guard Larry Bird. It didn't work too well. He kind of schooled me a little bit. Because of school me the whole game, every game we played, he said, Dennis, are you guarding me? Take that for you. All right, I take that, Larry. I take that. There's sort of jump shot. I said, Dennis, you like that? I said, you know what, man, the hell with you. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But after a couple of years under my belt, I said, okay, great. I belong in this league, brother. I belong in this league, and all of a sudden now Larry Bird started to respect me. Then you can see at the last the years we played in the Silverdome that you saw that brawl that when I tried to block Larry Bird's shot, Bill Lambert came over and I fell backwards, and Bill Lambert came and gave Larry a chop, with a forearm. And then all of a sudden the melee, that's when the rivalry started really to happen right there.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I said, oh man, I'm in the league now.
Yes, Coop, I'm fine too. Thanks for asking. Now in this video, I'm talking about your rivalry with Larry Bird and how intense it was. It was a battle. It was war. Was it something personal for you?
It wasn't just a personal thing. It became physical because I had an opportunity to do something about it. So when I jumped into that rivalry, Larry was the type of player, and I've guarded many great offensive scorers. Just to name a few, Michael Jordan when he was young, Dr. J, George Gervin, a kid named Andrew Toney. Those players, when they just throw the basketball, you can kind of take a rest on those guys. Larry was different than that. Larry could get rid of the basketball, but he was going to go get an offensive rebound. He was going to set a back pick for his teammate. He was going to do something, assist. He didn't always have to score. So you always had to pay attention to him. And, he has said that I'm the toughest player he's had to ever go that guarded him. And I have to say Larry is the best because of those things I just mentioned, is that you always had to pay attention to him on the court. And one of the best things, Sean, that I saw of Larry Bird that really gave me the ultimate respect is that we were playing them in the 84-85 series, and we just got into Boston, and there was a bus going by. And on the bus, they had this huge, long picture of Larry diving out of bounds. And the ball was just right at his fingertips. And the quote was, I hate it when players watch the ball go out of bounds. And that there tells you who that guy was, man. This guy played the game, the entire game, to the outer limits, the sideline, the baseline, and that's what I respected the most about him. But he was a tough player to deal with because he was bigger than me too.
Now you played probably in the best era of NBA basketball, and you had some of the most incredible rivalries. Especially you as a player, your rivalries with Jordan is legendary. Your rivalry with Larry Bird is legendary. So I definitely want to talk about that. Your first interaction with Larry Bird was a very rude awakening. What do you recall from that first meeting, and what was it like having the final laugh?
Well, you know what, the funny thing is, when you're a rookie coming to the league, you're a hotshot rookie, and you think you're, one of the greatest, and, those veterans have a way to let you know, look, you got to pay your dues, and that was one of the situations with me and Larry. I went to shake his hand, he wouldn't shake my hand. And I remember saying to myself, well, maybe he's just getting into the game. And I remember the first play of the game, he said, you don't even belong in this league, Holmes. And he shoots a three. I'm like, I wasn't mad he made a three. I said, did he just call me Holmes? But I remember after the first time, I made a great play against him. I remember him saying, he said, you got some toughness, man. I like you. But he said, I'm still getting 40 tonight. He got about 38, so he kind of proved his point.
Now, back in the days, there were many black players who for example, Cedric Maxwell, for example, who openly admit that they thought Larry Bird was overrated until they actually got to play against him. When was your moment where you thought, okay, this kid is for real?
The first day I played against him. First day I played. I knew he was a super player before I came into the NBA, but when I had a chance to play against Larry Bird, there's only, I can count on one hand the type of guys like him that you had to be totally focused in on, because if you didn't, he would embarrass you.
Now the following clip is going to be of Jalen Rose. Of course, Jalen never got the chance to play against Larry Bird since Larry retired in 1992, and Jalen came into the NBA in 1994, but of course, he played for Coach Bird. So let's have a look and listen to what Jalen Rose has to say.
Bird 6.
Okay.
Bird, for those that don't know, won 3 straight MVPs in the league with the Showtime Lakers and Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys present. 3 straight MVPs. MVP.
So you would say that was the baddest white boy ever?
No question. It's not even yes. No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
Alright, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my Basketball Time Machine podcast on iTunes and on Spotify, podcast with me and former NBA legends. And also, if you liked the video, please do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps my channel to grow. Alright, you guys, you all be healthy. Take care and goodbye.